Good afternoon and welcome to the Football Show. I'm Gabriel Antoniazzi. Good Friday to all of you at home. Thank you very much for joining us exclusively on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. I've got Tam McManus, Charlie Adam and Alan Ruff here with me today to talk through all of the main stories. We're going to be looking ahead at the weekend's action. All 12 teams playing across the next 2 days, but we'll start with European football. Not a great night for the Scottish clubs. It was more pain in Spain for Celtic, whilst Rangers marked manager Steven Gerrard's 50th European game in charge with a 2-0 loss at home to Lyon. We're going to start with the early kickoff though, which was Celtic's 4-3 defeat to Real Betis in Seville. Charlie, I'm going to come to you first. What did you make of the game? Because Celtic were so exciting, so vibrant in the first 30 minutes, and then they just collapsed again at the back.
Well, defensively, you know, when you go 2-0 up after 27 minutes, you know, that next period of 10 minutes is crucial. You've seen with Rangers last night, you know, 1-0 going in at half-time, and then say 10-15 minutes after half-time, big game, they lose a goal and it goes 2-0, game's over. Celtic just seemed to explode after, you know, they went 2-2 and then all of a sudden it was 4-2 in the blink of an eye. And yeah, it's a huge disappointment again for Celtic by being 2 goals up away from home, and it just shows the quality that these teams have in Europe. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 4 goals in 21 minutes. What went wrong at the back for Celtic?
Where do you start? I thought that they were all over the place. I thought that Betis started to show their class and their quality after 25-30 minutes. You know, I think that one of the goals that came in, I think it was Starfelt. I think he should have went with him. I think he flicked it past the goalkeeper. But you know, Celtic were disappointed to have lost the game. But for me, in the first 25-30 minutes, I thought they were absolutely brilliant. I thought Celtic came out the traps, you know, fantastically well. I thought they played a lot of great football. I thought Tom Rogic in the first 25 minutes was incredible.
Back to his best.
Oh, he was back to his best. He was running the show. David Turnbull in there, Ajeti looked sharp, and I thought Celtic, and they missed a great chance to go 3. Mm-hmm. And I thought at the time, if I could come back and hunt them, but looking at it might not, because I think they'd scored 4 anyway. But I think if Celtic got that third goal, I don't think they lost the game. So I think there's a lot of positives to take out from a Celtic point of view. Going forward, they look exceptional, but at the back, you know, they've got to start tightening up, because when that high press, when the quality teams break that first press, there's a real soft centre about Celtic and they can get at them. But you know, on the positive side, I thought they were to score 3 goals away to Betis is a great achievement.
It certainly is. We'll come on to the positives a bit more in a minute. But Ruffy, you were speaking yesterday, and you know there were 7 injuries for Celtic. Tough place to go to away in Spain, and you said that the best that they could realistically hope for was a draw. That's not really Postecoglou's idea. You know, I asked him before, do you set up differently? He says no, we always go to win. Is that wise when you're playing away from home?
Well, that's okay saying that, you know, and Tam's right, they are entertaining, they're good to watch going forward and everything that, but at the end of the day, if you're going to lose the goals that they're losing, you're not going to win games, you know, and at the end of the day, people will start questioning, you know, why you're losing so many goals at the back. The thing I can't understand is, you know, and Charlie touched on it there, they were 2-0 up, 27 minutes. That's what, 17 minutes before half time. If you can't organise yourself not to lose goals in 17 minutes, you know, just go a 4-5-1, just make it hard for them to get through you or down the side of you. But they never changed. They just kept going to 3 up front. And I don't think the success, and Charlie will know better than me in the game, the success is having people in front of the back 4 or the back 3 that can stop the balls getting into areas, you know, that can do the defensive shift, make it hard for other teams. But Celtic don't seem to be able to do that. They don't have the players. They used to have the players, like Lenny used to do it in front of him. Scott Brown used to be in front of the 2 centre-halves and stop everyone getting through. But it's great saying, like Tam's saying, oh, they're great to watch, fantastic going forward. That's okay if you're Man City and you're scoring 6 goals. And the other team's only scoring 3.
Just saying that, I'm going to say that as well. Like, you know, if you're a forward player at Celtic at the moment, that middle to front, you're thinking, we need to score 3 goals or 2 or 3 goals a game to win a game. That kind of, you know, because the strikers in the midfield might have an off day, and all of a sudden it could cost you, you know. And then when you're at that level, it's, you know, you have to have a solid defence. And just listen, there's players in there at the moment just not grasping what it is to go and get clean sheets, and you know they are open and expansive. You know, they are probably, you know, the second biggest club, you know, at the moment on what they're performing for, with Rangers obviously winning the league last year. So it's a big chance for Celtic now to try and, settle something, and it maybe just getting a couple of clean sheets and winning 1-0 and winning ugly might just help them. But you can't afford to lose 2 or 3 goals a game.
You talk about those, but in the last 8 Europa League group games, they've conceded at least 2. Not even 1, not 0, no clean sheets in the last 8, at least 2. That's the problem, is it? And you were talking about there, the likes of Lennon and Brand they used to have in front of the defence. The way that Postecoglou plays is the one sitter and then 2 in front. Perhaps away from home, would you consider playing 2? Sorrow, obviously McGregor can't play there, but that's where they got so many times Sorrow was getting overrun.
I don't mean playing that all the time. All I'm saying, when you're winning 2-0, surely that's the
Changing it up in game.
Surely that's the
Just during the
sensible
game,
thing
yeah.
to do. Just say, hey, 15, 16 minutes to go. Let's be difficult to lose a goal.
I don't
Let's
think
not just keep
Postecoglou's like that.
Yeah.
I think he'll go try. I mean, they went and nearly scored the third. I think he wants to go and get 3 and 4. But
the same happened to him with Brendan Rodgers. They went to Barcelona and got beat 7. They went to Paris Saint-Germain and what was it, 7 there as well. You know, all right, everybody's saying, oh, it's good football, but after a time, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, you're losing these goals. People start questioning, your philosophy and how you're playing the game.
You'll criticise managers. It comes with the players on the pitch. They've got to take responsibility and onus on the game as well at times to say, hold on a minute, pull your 2 wingers in, keep it tight for the next 5-10 minutes in a European game. We're 2-0 up. Let's take this thing out, because at some point in the game there's a momentum changer. And for Celtic at the moment, it changed, and all of a sudden within 20 odd minutes it was 4-2, and the game was done. Yeah, they scored late, but it's that momentum shift. It's when you recognise in the game the players on the pitch. You could feel it. You feel that all of a sudden their centre backs are stepping out, or they get a little bit more possession in the ball, and all of a sudden one goal and just brings it in. And Celtic just need to try and learn from that. But no, it's a huge blow, because let's say when you are 2-0 up, you expect to go and do something else with the game.
I don't think Sorrow's good enough to play as a sitting midfield player. I don't think he's good enough. I thought he should have hooked him after 15-20 minutes last night.
He got booked early, didn't he?
Yeah, he was going to get sent off. He wasn't going with runners. He wasn't doing his job as that sitting midfield player. And I think playing Turnbull and Rogic in the same team.
But none of them really do.
Yeah,
Turnbull, Rogic, they don't track the runners. No. That's one thing. Like when we were playing them, you can run off the back of Rogic, you can run off the back of Turnbull. Callum McGregor's probably the only one in there that will sit and dictate and play. Sorrow's still naive, like you say, go and get in the yellow card, puts himself under pressure. And in the big games, you can't do that.
Yeah. Well, we talk about the negatives there, but the positives are that when Turnbull and Rogic get the ball, they do look so good going forward. They've scored 3 or more goals in 7 of his 13 games. That's more than half. They're just so good. And I think Jota looked good with his step overs, putting balls in, and Ajeti looked like he's a bit more switched on at the moment now, isn't he?
Yeah, as I said, I thought Celtic going forward were superb. I thought that Real Betis are a good side. You go there and score 3 goals, could have scored 4 or 5. That's the positive that Celtic have got to take from it. But I think you need a better sitting midfield player, and you need a better centre half. Because if you're going to start throwing bodies forward, on the counter attack, you need to have people in there solid, disciplined. I don't think Sorrow's disciplined enough to play in there as that sitter. And the centre backs for me still not quite convinced about them. So if Celtic can strengthen those two key positions for me, a better centre midfield player and a top centre half, then I think they've. I think they'll be a very, very good side, to be honest.
Well, the centre-backs just come in. Carter is only his second game. Starfelt just arrived. Julien, we keep hearing that he'll be returning around October, November. But it's 20 games and 59 years now Celtic have been playing in Spain. They've never won. 17 losses, only 3 draws. We can have a look at how the group table stands at the moment. Celtic, obviously, with 0 points. Betis and Leverkusen above them, with Ferencváros, the team that knocked them out of the Champions League last campaign, currently below them. I mean, it's early days. Are they still going to be confident they can get out of the group? Because that's a tough fixture away from home.
Yeah, I think if we look at most of the groups now, that you would say you need 9 or 10 points. But I think the most important thing is your home games. If you can win your home games, it takes the pressure off you, and you look at somebody in that group who you think is vulnerable away from home, and you can maybe nick a draw. But winning your home games makes it a lot easier for you. So if this group had been going on, I don't think anybody would expect it to go there last night and win that game. So the pressure's now on. They've lost the game. The pressure's now on to win your home games.
Yeah, well, the team that didn't win their home game last night was Rangers. We can quickly look at all of the Europa League scores from the teams across the UK right now. You've got 4-3 for Real Betis, Dinamo Zagreb losing to West Ham United on their return to Europe. Leicester City throwing away a 2-goal lead to Napoli. We'll speak about that a little bit later, but we're coming to Glasgow and Ibrox. Rangers 0, Lyon 2. As I said, manager Steven Gerrard's 50th European game in charge. It's the first time he's lost a group game at home. Charlie, you were at Ibrox last night. What did you make of the match?
Well, I thought Rangers started okay. Just never moved it quick enough. They never got it out to Barisic quick enough. The Gusto, the right back, was overcovering with Boateng, and the switch of play was on all night. But they just never. They'd done it once or twice, and they never recognised it enough. And they had, the Lopez had a great save from Kent. But if you show somebody in the right hand side, the strong side, Ikambe scores, comes inside, Lundstrom allows him inside, and he has a shot from there. It's a great strike, but you should know your players you're playing against. At times Barisic as well, showing the right winger onto his left foot. He wants to come inside and play. Show him down the line. Put him on his weak side. But overall, I think it's they're a good Leon side, and I said before, I think that these could have a right good chance. Even though it was only one game, these will go far in this tournament. Listen, they were in Champions League semi-final 2 years ago. Had £80 million, not even involved in the game. That shows the calibre you're up against. So that's probably a big lesson for Rangers. That's the level. They're probably a Champions League club playing in the Europa League. So, yeah, it was a tough night, but overall, Leon deserved the win.
Yeah, we can. This is what Steven Gerrard had to say after the game. I'll just read it out for us. He said, Ryan Kent will be sent for a scan today. He will obviously be out for the weekend. Could miss a few weeks, but we'll know more this evening. Alfredo Morelos is a tight hamstring and is out for the weekend, but not an issue on Kent's level. Having everyone fit and available and in top form is the dream scenario. We haven't had a real settled squad so far this season with injuries and COVID to get some rhythm going, but this is an issue we have to deal with. Now, has he got a point there? Is he right about that? No injuries. Obviously, Moussa Dembele wasn't playing for Lyon as well, and they were so strong. You talk about that 80 million not playing, but has he got a point? They haven't managed to hit top gear yet, have they, Rangers?
No, I think he'll know that. I think everybody will know that. They're still winning games, They're still good to watch. They've got a massive pool of players and they've used them whenever needed. So, no, I think they're in a good place. You will miss big players, but with the games at our level, you would think they've enough in our league, to continue to win games. I think the pleasing thing was that Charlie got into the game and they didn't see him as a security risk. So that's the one good point about the whole thing. He was fine
in there, weren't you? Look, on, we got to talk about them not hitting the top form. Why are they not hitting the top form? Is it just injuries? Is it just COVID?
I don't know. I just think there's something lacking in that Rangers side. They've not got the same bite, same appetite, same hunger for me.
Going forward or at the back?
I think all over the place, all over the park. I mean, I think Lyon were a class above Rangers last night. I thought they cantered to a 2-0 win, but in terms of just watching them this season, they don't seem to have the same snap about them, the same hunger. I don't know if it's, they seem to have climbed the top of the mountain and stopped 10 in a row, and now it's difficult to kind of motivate yourself to get back to that level. But, Ryan Kent, for example, looks a shadow of the player he was last season. I think he's not scored a goal this season. He's only 3 or 4 assists, so need more from him. Obviously, I think he might be missing. Morelos was quiet last night, and he usually turns up in the big European games, so I think Steven Gerrard's got a few issues he's got to sort out, but I think, as Ruffy says there, I think domestically they've still got more than enough to go and win domestically and beat the teams round about them.
Yeah, only 4 assists so far for Ryan Kent. Last year he had 28 goal contributions. He is out with a hamstring injury. It might have been troubling him for a few weeks. Did miss a game a month ago as well. But what do you think about Rangers' form? Is it a concern, or is it just a concern at European level? They are still top of the league after all, Charlie.
No, it will be a concern because they set themselves a standard, and because when you drop below that standard, you get criticised because you're at such a big club. But that's in-house. They'll have to keep banging the drum on why. What's the reason for it? Kent, is not playing to level because he missed the pre-season. He's had a couple of injuries. Clubs may be after him, and it's time now for him to settle down. The window's closed, and obviously he picks up the injury last night, so that'll be a blow for them to have 3 or 4 weeks out. But they've got like Scott Wright who can come in, Kamal Roof. So listen, they'll be disappointed in how they're playing, but they keep winning matches. In the league, listen, I said on last night on the radio that the most important thing for Rangers is the league this year. They want to do well on the European stage and compete at that level. I still believe they can get out of that group. I think they can beat Brøndby. I think they can beat Prague. Lyon, let's say, a class above. You're just hoping that they beat everybody and you can finish second. But they still have enough quality in the squad to win domestic games to sit at the top of the league.
Do you think Rangers fans, if offered, not getting out of the Europa League group, not winning any cups, but winning the league, do you think they take it?
Snap your hand off.
Yeah,
absolutely. But it's not about not winning the league, the cups. It's about can they get to cup finals. you know, and that'll be the next stage as well. They have to start getting to cup finals, but the league is the most important thing because of the reward next season, what it could be for getting the Champions League.
Straight into the Champions League. We can have a look at the group now. As Charlie said, he still expects them to get out. You've got Lyon on the top there. Brøndby and Sparta Prague drew yesterday, so that's quite a good result if you are a Rangers fan. They face those sides next. Okay, oh, by the way, I've got to ask you, were you and Karen giving me pelters for my piece to camera yesterday about my trousers? I saw you.
We panned back. I mean, it was just, it was a bit funny to say.
Funny, I had my socks on.
Yeah, I know, but and some of the older people who listen.
Francie and Josie, was it?
Yeah, what was that? I didn't know what that was.
Francie and Josie were a comedy act way back in the 50s and 60s, and that's what they did. They wore their trousers the way
half-mast,
yeah.
It's a style in it. We talked about it the other day. That West End style in it.
You know it.
It's just when you. Great piece to camera, but when the camera pans back, you're like Francie and Josie. Some of the older people think it's funny.
I think you should wear no socks. Huh?
I used to wear no socks, but then we did that piece at Hampden, and it was we had the drone coming out, and then my ankles were out, and he was burst out laughing live on the show. So that was it, no socks from then. But hey, maybe in the summer we had no socks. It's usually you come in with your knees out and your golf shorts.
Yeah, but he's
got the legs for it.
Chilly this morning.
He does have the legs for it.
Chilly the day.
I know, that's winter coming right. We can move on to domestic matters now. We're going to stick with Rangers. They're playing Motherwell on Sunday, and it's Flag Day at Ibrox. They're going to unfurl the league banner, of course, champions last season. And it's good that they're going to be able to celebrate the league. It's obviously, you know, peculiar circumstances that you're celebrating a league win in September, but nonetheless, good for Rangers fans. It'll be a good day out for them, won't it?
Yeah, listen, it's a momentous day for the football club, stopping 10 in a row, and you know they will enjoy the occasion. But it's most important thing will be winning the game and you know, let's say getting some type of form for the rest of the season.
By the way, I meant to ask you as well. Last time Lyon played at Ibrox, 3-0, they won. You were on the bench that day, I think you were.
Yeah.
What were they like? I think young Benzema was playing, scored a couple.
Yeah, his career, you know, shot to the stars that night. He scored 2 and he was unbelievable. That's probably the only thing I remember from the game. How good he was, and you know, he ended up in Madrid and things like that. So had a good career. But over the years, Lyon have been a top side in France, haven't they? They won 7 in a row at one point. So you know, good investment. Like I said, they're a Champions League team playing in the Europa League, and it'll be tough for anybody to catch them in this group.
We were having a look at their team that day. You had Fabio Grosso, World Cup winner, Juninho, Milan Baros, Kim Kallstrom, Jeremy Toulan, Sidney Govou, Karim Benzema and Hatem Ben Arfa. Not too bad, eh? And you beat them away from home as well, didn't you?
We beat them, yeah.
3-0.
Yeah. I come on for the last minute or so. But
did you?
Big bonus.
Bit appearance, man, a big bonus.
Was that the season as well that they got dropped down?
We won the first 2 games. We beat Stuttgart. We beat Stuttgart at home, and then we beat Lyon away. So
thought you were flying.
2 bonuses in
You
the
scored
same one.
against Stuttgart, didn't you?
Aye.
Right foot.
Right foot, and away from home, come off the bench and scored.
Did you? Right foot, that's a cracker for you, eh?
Remember that?
That's why the ground's so now.
No, don't even
Goal
start
in the
that,
hands.
come on. Right, come on, back to domestic matters. We can have a look at all of the fixtures this weekend. As we said, Rangers are playing Motherwell. We start with Aberdeen against St Johnstone tomorrow. Hibs up against St Mirren. Can they get back to top of the table? That's what Hearts trying to do as well, up in Dingwall against Ross County. Then on Sunday, the big one, the Dundee Derby. We'll be hearing from Charlie about that later. And Livingston against Celtic as well. But we're going to continue with the chat about Motherwell. I spoke to Graham Alexander yesterday. He said he was really looking forward to the tie. A big game for Motherwell, who have won 3 on the bounce.
We go there focusing on the game of football, nothing else. What we have to do to stop or minimise Rangers' threats, because there's many, and also take part in the attacking side of the game, which we feel we have threats that can hurt teams as well. Obviously, it's a fantastic stadium, and it'll be full of Rangers supporters. And we have to overcome those things, but we can't control that, and that's not within our control, controlling the atmosphere and the crowd. All we can do is control our performance.
Yeah, it's going to be a raucous atmosphere at Ibrox, but Motherwell are in good shape, aren't they? Do you think they'll be confident going there?
Yeah, I think they will. I think they started the season pretty well. A lot of people, including probably all of us sitting here, thought they were going to struggle this season.
Yeah.
I seen them in the Betfred Cup against Airdrie, and I thought they were in big trouble, but a great performance against Hibs the first game of the season. Unlucky not to take it in from the game. 1-3 in the spin. Go to Ibrox with a wee bit of confidence. But as you said, I think the fans coming in celebrating 10 in a row and stopping 10 in a row, then I think that it'll be a very lively atmosphere. And I think it'll be a tight game. I think coming off a European game is always difficult for Celtic Rangers. But I think I've went for a 2-1 Rangers on the predictor.
Have you? What are you going for?
I've went for Rangers 2-0. I mean, I've been impressed with Motherwell. I think some of his signings that he's had, we didn't know a lot about them, but they've come in and done a job. But I mean, playing Rangers is different for the wins that they've had. Rangers at home, as Tam said, with that crowd behind them, I don't think they'll have any problems at all. I think Rangers will win 2-0.
I've gone 2-0 as well. I'm at the bottom and I've got to just mirror everyone's scores because I can't slip any further away. I've started saving already. You ready for it? No, I need a big week. I really, really need a big week. I've been thinking about it all week.
Week 6.
Week 6.
Bottom of it.
Clawing it back, honestly. But don't get me started. Peter tells me every single day, you saving money. So we'll see about that. But do you think that is, talk about Motherwell's good form, is it a good time to play Rangers? He says, it's always a struggle coming back from Europe. No Kent, maybe Morelos missing as well?
I think it's good to play them after the European games because you go, I think Rangers have got 3 games in 6 days now. They play in the Cup the following week as well. So, listen, Motherwell will be going there with a little, let's say, more confidence than they would be if they'd lost 3 in the bounce, but it's always a tough place to go, and I think the whole occasion will get these Rangers players up for it as well, and that will drive them on to getting through, but it'll be a difficult game. Yeah,
they did really well there last season, 1-0 up just before Christmas. They ended up losing 3-1 goals from Cedric Itten and Kemal Roof. Haven't beaten Rangers since 2017 when Louis Malt double. Do you remember that at Hampden? Fantastic.
That's right, the lob,
Malt,
chip, great goal.
He was brilliant that day. Couldn't handle him at all. They were hoping for more of that. Perhaps Kevin Van Veen can be that man. Moving on though, we've got Livingston against Celtic. We were speaking to Livy manager David Martindale earlier today. He was talking about the review into the SPFL and he's backing it. That's at least 6 clubs, half of the league, supporting the commission.
Yeah, I think we need to look at ways to generate more income to bring into Scottish football as a whole. I think it's much needed, and I think we should all be jumping behind it. It's not attacking the SPFA or the SPFL. I think we should all be doing this as one. I don't think it should be done in isolation with 5 clubs. I think this has got to. We all probably have the same thoughts, but we don't talk about them.
Yeah, David Martindale with his best Bond villain impression there. Ruffy, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think the part more than anything, will trouble Celtic. I think Rangers and Celtic have been on record to say they don't like the surface, and I don't like. I don't know what Charlie's views on it. I think it doesn't look good on the eye, and I think it would struggle, for good players to play on it. But it'll be difficult for Celtic. I mean, I don't know why I've went for 2-0 Celtic with the way they're shedding goals. So maybe they'll just tighten it up tomorrow for me to get some points. So no, I think Celtic are still too strong. We spoke about Celtic middle to front at the beginning of the show, and that's where the danger will be. I think the wide areas will cause them all sorts of trouble, and I think they'll win 2-0.
Good time to play Celtic. They've got a lot of injuries. They've got a Bada back. He was missing for religious reasons yesterday, but Celtic also light as well.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that particularly coming off the back of an away game in Spain, the last game you want to go to is Livingston away from home, and that part, as Ruffy says, it's a tough game for Celtic. They'll need to defend well because Livingston will throw balls in the box all day. From throw-ins, corner kicks, free kicks, everything will be put on top of the goalkeeper. So they've got to defend strongly. But I think Celtic have just got enough. I think I've went for 2-1. I think Livingston will score. From a set player across into the box, but I think Celtic have just got a wee bit too much quality for them to go and win the game.
Yeah, 3-1 for me. Celtic haven't won there in any of the 4 games they've played at the Spaghetti Had since returning to the top flight. What do you make of the Spaghetti Had? Come on.
I don't like the AstroTurf.
Don't like the Astro pitches?
We need to get rid of it. In the top leagues in Scotland, we have to get rid of it. Listen, we as Dundee, we've done well last season on the Astro, but as players, you want to play on the grass, and we have to get the other teams to vote and get it out. But listen, it's a tough place to go. Davey will set them up, make it hard. It'll be back to front. It'll be I said Celtic have struggled in the last few games there, so no, it'll be a good game. Livingston will fancy themselves at home.
It's when you see the quality of the grass in the parks, in the Premier. When you look at Motherwell, when you look at Dundee, you look at Aberdeen, they're like bowling greens.
Yeah.
You know, they've really upped their game, so why should we be hanging on playing in that AstroTurf when people are really throwing it out there to make the surface look good and good to play on?
I know, it's complicated as well, though, because you've got clubs that sometimes they use it as training, and then, you know,
we know why they do it.
It's hard, isn't it? That maybe if this whole new commission, the review, they want to bring in more revenue, perhaps this will be looked at as well.
Yeah, I just think if you're in the top league, you should be playing in grass. You know, as the league everybody wants to play in, and it just looks terrible in the eye. Not all the AstroTurfs, but the majority of them look terrible.
Yeah, what do you think about the commission thing? You've got Martindale backing it. That's at least 6 clubs, Charlie, your club as well. Aberdeen, Hearts, Hibs, Dundee United. Something going to happen here? Can it be a good thing?
I think it's a great thing. I think it's not before time. I think it's not surprised that there's a few Americans on there, because having played in America myself, you know, there's so many opportunities for sponsorship, you know, for revenue, you know, things that are, you know, the Scottish teams are miles behind. You know, I watch MLS games or even the league below, and it's a day out for people. You know, you can go and you can get something to eat. There's half time. There's people entertainment before the game, half time, after the game. You know, so I think there's so much scope for Scottish clubs to make more money and make more advantage of a great product. I think we've got a great league here, but I don't think I think the clubs are getting together. You know, your Hibs, your Hearts, you know, teams like that. I think it's a very, very good thing for Scottish football. Ron Gordon, Dave Cormack.
I'm totally and agree with it. But then it will come down to the big decisions, won't it? The big two will have a vote, the same as everybody else, and it's what the vote will be. Listen, every club individually wants to look after themselves. That's what they're in the game for. But at least the clubs are taking the onus on themselves to go and get somebody to come in and look at it and say, how can we improve the game? Because, like Tam said, I think we've undersold the game. Listen, the quality is not what the Premier League is, but we still have a good product that we can sell, and we should be selling it better than what we are.
Yeah, everyone hopes that a good thing can come from this, but I think it will roll on for ages. We'll keep you up to date with all of the latest of that. But it's on to the big one now, the game that we're all looking forward to. Charlie will be there, I'll be there. It's the Dundee Derby on Sunday midday. It's the first time that you're meeting them since Christmas 2019, the first in the top flight for 5 years. What does it mean? Tell us what it means. What does the Dundee Derby mean to the people of Dundee?
Well, it means everything. 150 yards apart. Big rivalry. You won't think about it. There's a big rivalry, but it's not in a bad way. You know, they'll have the fun, they'll have the jokes, different pubs and whatever. But come that game for 90 minutes, you know, they'll sing their songs, they'll do whatever. But you know, the lads will go and have a beer after the game together and enjoy it. You always have one or two bits issues, but I'm looking forward to it as a player to sample the atmosphere, because that's what they've been talking about. The players that have been involved in it, the managers been involved in it. The atmosphere is incredible, and I'm looking forward to it. Going to your rivals and trying to get a result. We've not won there since 2004, is it?
Yeah, good start, 2004.
So we know that, and we have to try and put that right. It's Tam's obviously got a settled team now, good squad, good experienced players. And it'll be a good game, and it should be a good watch.
United only won 2 of the last 9, incidentally. But how are you lot feeling away from them? You say it's 17 years since you last won there, but you're confident as a squad?
Oh yeah, we are confident. We've got good players. We can win games, and that's it. You know, we'll go there and we'll play our own game. We'll do what we want to do. Worry about ourselves, and then you show respect to your opponent. But we've been working on a few things this week that can probably help us win the game, and yeah, we're looking forward to it, because let's say it'll be a big occasion if we can win this game. Obviously, it'll get us our first win of the season as well in the league, which is important.
Wouldn't be a bad first win, would it?
No, it wouldn't. I think it's a great game. Listen, I was lucky enough to play in a couple myself back in the day. Scored at Tannadice in a 2-each draw, right in front of Dundee fans and right in amongst them. So the atmosphere was fantastic. The second game at Dens Park, I get sent off for smashing Barry Robson in the last minute. So. Listen, mixed.
Deserved red card?
Oh, I think if that was nowadays, I'd get about a 20-game ban.
Oh, was it on him?
Aye, it was. They were winning 2-1. They had the ball in the corner flag, and he was trying to run the clock.
See the red mist?
And he held me off, and
that's Rob, wasn't it?
He's hit me in the beak. You know what he's like? His elbows are unbelievable. He's went like that and hit me in the beak, and I've just went like that.
Straight through.
Oh, and just started walking. Didn't even look. Oh, just started walking. Didn't even look round. Right in front of the Dundee United fans as well. Give me a pellet. And Jim Duffy had me with the throat after the game because it was like 3 games for end of the season, and both the Dundee clubs were in a relegation battle, and I missed a game against Dunfermline, who were also down there the following week. And Duffy went through me, had me pinned up and all that. You done that? You're a bottler. You done that for yourself, and all this. So mixed experiences of Dundee Derby, but honestly, the atmosphere, I think it's a full house as well. I think they've sold it out, so I think it's a great derby. And traditionally, there's always been goals in it. There was always goals when I was kind of growing up and playing in it. There was always goals, so I think there'll be goals again. I think I've went for 2 each.
2-2. I think I've gone 1-1. Peter's gone 2-1 to United, which is why he's not here today. He didn't want to speak to you.
Always, honestly.
I know. Tell us, how are you? You've not played in a few weeks. Are you available?
I've trained today and everything feels okay, but I'll train tomorrow and we'll see and we'll go from there. It's we're looking to try and be fit and available. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's a big game, and these are the games that you want to be part of.
Be cracking to see him play in school, wouldn't it? Your celebration in the...
What's the celebration? What would you want me to do if I celebrated?
I don't know, I liked when you scored in the playoff against Killie. I like that celebration.
On the knees?
Yeah, the passion.
Okay.
Soaking that day as well.
You people in Zaggy likes it, didn't he?
Yeah. What would you get
Italian,
to?
innit?
No, I think if he scores, you should do something towards your trousers. Not just sort of like, do something like that.
Take the socks off.
I'll be looking for him.
Oh no, I'll be up in the stand. Ruffy, what are your memories of the derby over the years?
Yeah, well, I only had the Hibs Hearts derbies, and obviously any derby in Glasgow with Thistle was always not the same kind of derby, but that's what we kept saying. There wasn't enough derbies in the last 2 or 3 years with Hearts being down and Dundee being down, and now all the derbies are back now. And that's what makes the league. That's what makes a percentage of the games of the season so exciting for the fans and for the players like Charlie. Listen to Charlie, want to play in it, and Tam's played in the derbies as well. As a player, that's where you want to be. You want to be in the end of winning one of the derbies. It's not such a good feeling when you're not on the end of them. And I played 16 Hibs Hearts games and never won one. Never won one. We drew 9 and lost the rest. So I know what it's like to be in the other side. So, and it's the same. It's not the same as Rangers and Celtic, but if you're in that environment in that city, for the fans, they're still going to go to their work on the Monday and still get the banter that goes on the same as all the other teams. And when you're a player, that's what you want to do. You want to go out there and win for yourself, win for the fans as well, so they all go away with a smile on their face.
But the thing as well, last 3 weekends, before the international, it Rangers, Celtic, Hibs Hearts, Dundee United. So it's big games the last 3 weekends. Talking about a product's no bet. It's there to be seen now.
All big televised games and all been good games. Even the 0-0 that we were at last week in the Edinburgh Derby was a good game, wasn't it?
I never seen you. Where were you? I was up in the.
Oh, you were hiding from all the
I was up with the big
fans.
boys. Were you just
The
in
big boys.
the wee peasants not down the front?
Oh,
Balaclava on, didn't
It was a 12 o'clock kick, and I must have been in there about 10:15. I was in before the 12.
Didn't know what to give any fellas. We got one question here. Tommy Adams, at the Dundee Derby, does the away team arrive by bus?
No, we walk. We will walk.
We walked it as well. Yep.
Cracking up, didn't that? I tell you what, you might walk past a new Jim McLean statue. You see that?
Yeah,
It's going up. That's, long overdue. Winning the league in '83, UEFA Cup final, European Cup semi-finals. Ruffy, great manager, traditional Scottish manager, one of the greats from our country, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, and fearsome as well, old school. If you listen to the past Dundee United players, some of the stories they tell about him, that are absolutely incredible. And I don't know what the dressing rooms are like now, but the home dressing room used to be back to back with the away dressing room, and if you were the away team, you could hear everything in the Dundee United, and they'd be winning 3-0 at half time, and they'd all be getting roasted. He'd begin running every one of them individually, absolutely slaughtering them all, and then you could hear everything that was going on. And he was that kind of guy, just an enthusiast. And it used to be up in the window, but do you remember? I think it's still there, isn't it? Sometimes he used to go behind there in the window, and he'd be banging the window. You could hear him, forever if you were in the bottom goal, you could hear him from behind.
I remember, when I was young, obviously my dad played there, so I remember him some reserve games, but I don't know how I remember this, but he'd open the window and he'd shout out the window and everything like that. And I remember seeing footage of him because where the what do you call it, the benches are, he used to sit in that chair and he'd come barging out the side door, down the steps, out shouting like a lunatic, and he'd just go back up into his box and that. But he was a great character, is what I believe, and you know, I think hopefully he gets the send off that he deserves, because he was a huge part of Dundee United, and I think the Dundee fans will appreciate what he's done for United as well on Sunday.
Also played for Dundee as a player.
He did, and the thing is, Andy McLaren's contract with Dundee United just ran out last year. So I think for Andy, that's good for him and all.
Have you seen?
And when any Dundee United player get out of there a transfer, they used to play the Escape to Victory music.
That's right. Oh, brilliant. I've seen some clips, talking about that, I've seen some clips of him destroying journalists for stupid questions. I think...
I mean, that incident he had with...
BBC boy.
BBC.
Oh, I think, honestly, if I was asking him questions now with no socks on, he'd absolutely destroy me, wouldn't he?
He'd headbutt you. I'm not going to lie.
Straight away. Right, you can tune in to the Dundee Derby. It's at midday. We'll see if Charlie is playing, scoring, celebrating the way we want to see him do. I will be up there as well with an exclusive on Monday as well when we're back. We've got plenty of other games to go through. We're going to start with Aberdeen. They're playing against St Johnstone. The Dons haven't won in 6. Their season started so brightly with those wins in the Conference League, early wins in the league as well, but it's tailed off a little bit. Stephen Glass, their boss, feels that it's time to put it right.
I think the players know it anyway. When you play at a club like this, you know what the demands are. So to have to walk through that after a game, I think you accept it, you expect it as well. But the one way you can tackle that is to go and put things right on Saturday, and that's the aim. If we were at a club that there was an apathy towards the players and the performance, I don't think half of these players would want to be here. But there's a demand at this club, and everybody likes being part of it, and it's part of the attraction of being here.
Big game for both clubs. St Johnstone, who they're coming up against, haven't won all season. You stick on for a draw, are you?
I think it's a cert draw. I've got that down in my predictor. I think I went for one each, but huge game for both clubs. Yeah. Aberdeen, you know, on a bad run at the minute, as you said, no wins in 6, and St Johnstone have won all season. So, you know, traditionally, I think they've always been pretty tight games up there. So, both teams desperate for a win for different reasons. So, but I'm going to sit in the fence. I think it'll be one each.
On one, I think I've also gone for that, but the Dons are really just lacking creativity at the moment. Hedges is a massive player for them, big miss. No coincidence that he's been injured for the 6 games. What do you think they can? How can they change? You know, they're really struggling to score goals, Rafi.
No, I thought last week against Motherwell they had their chances. You know, Motherwell took their chances, but I thought there was the glimpse of something just turning with Aberdeen last week, but it never happened for them. I think this is a must-win. I don't think there's any
must win for the Dons.
No, I don't. We have to win it. There's going to be a thing with, but he'll be saying it's a must win because the fans won't keep accepting, you know, some of the results that have been happening. But I think they're just a wee bit away for just turning it, and I think tomorrow will be the time. You know, I think they will beat Motherwell.
Motherwell are playing St Johnstone.
Sorry. I think they will. I think they
Motherwell
will win.
no St Johnstone.
No.
Motherwell no playing St Johnstone.
No, Aberdeen are playing St
I
Johnstone.
know.
That was me that made the mistake.
Right.
I think they'll win tomorrow.
Against?
2-0 I've went, I think.
Against St Johnstone?
Yeah.
Right, okay. What do you think about St Johnstone? Why are they struggling? They've not even won all season, and they had a few brilliant defensive performances away from home in Europe, in Austria, in Turkey. They can't win games at the moment.
Yeah, but it's just they come down from that high of European games there. Just trying to get a consistent level. New players coming back into the squad, losing 2 of their best players takes its toll. The manager obviously signed a new contract is a good thing, but this, like I say, this is a big game, and I think Aberdeen can win this. So we'll have to see how it goes, but it'll be a close game. I don't think there'll be many goals, and I think Aberdeen will just edge it 1-0.
We've got Hibs St Mirren as well. That's tomorrow. Peter Martin is at that one. Hibs still unbeaten, but they're off top spot. You were impressed with them last week, weren't you?
Yeah, I thought it was a great game. The Edinburgh Derby, I thought it was a very, very entertaining 0-0 draw. I thought Hibs were, in spells, were excellent. I think they'll have a couple of bodies back tomorrow. Jake Doyle-Hayes was a big miss. I think he'll come back into the team. So I think that, in terms of tomorrow, I think the Hibs will be too strong for St Mirren. I think that St Mirren are struggling to score goals. I think that's one thing that Hibs definitely don't, apart from last week. I think Hibs have got plenty of goals in them with Boyle and Nisbet. So I think I've went for 2-0 to Hibs. I think it'll be quite a comfortable afternoon.
Are these the kind of games that you need to win if Hibs, if they want to be third, but they're not saying it openly, but I think they can push right up to the top. Are these the kind of games that you must win, the home ones?
Yeah, you've got to win. You've got to beat the teams round about the bottom of the league. And Hibs at home this season, even when Celtic and Rangers roll into town, they'll quietly fancy their chances. So I think if Hibs have got any aspirations of doing anything this season, they've got to go and beat St Mirren tomorrow.
You like the look of Hibs, don't you?
Yeah, I think they're good. They've got players in the right position to cause you trouble. You know, like Tam says, I don't think they've got enough goals at Mirren, you know, to trouble anybody, and anybody that's playing them's getting chances, tons of chances. You know, the goalkeeper has been outstanding this year, and I think you're going to be busy at the weekend as well. So no, I think they might get a goal, but I think Hibs will still be too strong for them.
It'll be interesting as well. Hibs have tried to sign about half of Sept Mirren's players, is that right? What do you think?
They have. I think they're a wee bit aggro there between.
It'll be interesting.
You know, there's rumours are Graham Matthews is leaving Hibs. Don't know if that's been confirmed, but I think
They go to St Mirren.
I don't know. Probably. I think the Hibs will try and get this in Mirren, head of recruitment or director of football. But I think obviously the McGrath deal late in the day, I think maybe upsets St Mirren a little bit the way it was handled. So whether that filters down onto the pitch, I'm not sure with Jim Goodwin and stuff like that. But I don't think the St Mirren fans have got too much love for Jack Ross for keeping coming in and trying to pinch our players.
No, Jim Goodwin will certainly be trying to win that one. I spoke to him yesterday as well. He was talking about feeling hard done by. You know, there's plenty of 50-50 decisions that could have gone their way in the draws that they've had. They would have won both of those if they'd been awarded penalties, according to Goodwin. But he said they can't feel sorry for themselves forever. They need to start winning games now.
I am confident it will turn. You know, we've not carried a great deal of luck, I don't think, in the opening 5 games. When I go back and analyse them all, you know, OG in the first one, you know, just other little things, the breaking the ball not quite going for us. So, you know, we have to not feel sorry for ourselves and go into the Hibs game, you know, full of optimism, and let's be positive about it.
Give them a bottom one.
Yep, so St Mirren there, they haven't won a game yet. They're really desperate to win something, Ruffy, but it's such a tough place to go, Easter Road.
Yeah, I think if Love Street is a difficult place to get a win, but not away from home. You know, they've not shown away from home that they're going to trouble anybody, and I think any time I've seen Hibs playing at home, they've been really impressive. You know, lots of goal scoring chances, and when they take them, they win quite comfortably.
Okay, final game we've got to go over is Hearts up at Ross County in the same position as Hibernian, just below them on goal difference. Still unbeaten and hoping to go back to the top of the table. Ross County, however, yet to win this season. They're really wanting to win. These home games are the crucial ones for them, aren't they, Charlie? You know, if they're going to stay in the league, you've got to start winning games, especially at home up in Dingwall.
Yeah, you have to take that advantage, that long drive up there. So it is a tough place to go, but you know, Malky's the same. Brought in a lot of players and trying to find the solutions to try and get wins. It takes its time, and you know, it'll be good for him if he can start this weekend by let's say getting an upset. But the last few games have been draws, so it's. I think it could be a draw as well, this one.
Yeah, I've actually gone for a draw. The last 4 games between these two have all been draws. 3-0 nils, 1-1-1. Not very exciting, eh? What have you got?
I bet you're off. He knew that start before he put his thing. You bet Hearts, didn't you?
I've got Hearts, I know what Malky Mackay's he's trying to convince himself that they're not far away from it turning. And you know, he'll be looking at, he's had a hard run in with the teams that they've played already.
They've had a
you know,
tough
so he'll
start.
be looking at this game, not particularly Hearts, but other games that he'll pick up points. But it'd be a bonus if they picked up something, because you can't just keep going on, you know, not picking up points, because I know at the bottom of the league there's all like nothings and ones and twos and twos, but at some stage there's going to be a gap, and if you're down there, you're generally down there the most of the season. So he really does have to win his home games. But I was impressed with Hearts last week and what they've been doing this season. I think they'll just nick it by the odd goal.
What impressed you most about Hearts last week? Because for me, I've obviously been watching Hearts for a decade or whatever, and so often I feel like their signings are just all over the place. They bring in so many players and then they're out again next summer. But this summer it seems that they've got a real clear plan. They've brought in a lot of good players that have hit the ground running. You've got Banning Ime, even Woodburn looked good last week. Barry Mackay, touches, he looked good, didn't he?
No, I think Hearts will be strong this season. I think they'll be far away from third place. You know, I've said that last week. I think the Hibs and Hearts are the 2 teams to catch in terms of that.
Ahead of Aberdeen?
Yeah, I do. I think Aberdeen have got a wee bit of improvement to do. I know Aberdeen have brought a lot of players in, but watched that game last week. I was impressed with Hearts as well. They're very solid at the back. The back 3 are excellent. The goalkeepers, for me, is one of the best, if not the best goalkeeper in the division. The only thing for me with Hearts is I think they're very reliant on Boyce for goals. You're going to need Woodburn. I don't think Woodburn scored a lot of goals in his career. Gary Mackay, Steve missed a good chance last season. They've got to chip in with 7-10 goals, or else I think they're going to be very reliant. I think they'll not concede a lot of goals, Hearts. I think they'll be very, very hard to beat, but you know, can they go and score 2 or 3 goals and win games? So I've went for 1 each. I think that Ross County will be delighted that they're not detached, and they've had a hard run in Celtic, Rangers, Hearts, Hibs, Aberdeen, St Johnstone in the first 6 games. So they'll be looking to try and get anything tomorrow, and then they've got some big games coming up against the Livingston, St Mirren, Dundee United teams around about them.
The winnable games for them. Right, that concludes our preview of all of the 6 fixtures. Before we get on to a little bit of English action, it's the last day of our competition to win these Cristiano Ronaldo prizes.
This is your chance to win Cristiano Ronaldo's number 7 shirt at Manchester United. And as a bonus, we've thrown in the programme from his return to Old Trafford in the 4-1 victory over Newcastle United. All you have to do is quite simply tell us, which year did Ronaldo make his debut for Manchester United? Follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you could be in with a chance of winning this fantastic prize. And as a bonus, we're throwing in a pair of CR7 pants. Win Ronaldo's shirt, the programme, and the pants. All you have to do is follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel with the answer of the year Ronaldo made his debut for Manchester United.
You're right into that competition just for the pants alone. You're going to come in modelling them on Monday, Ruffy?
Yeah, it might fit the 2 guys, but they're not fit me.
No.
In a million years.
You got any CR7 boxes? Have you?
No. But my missus likes them. So,
Does she?
she likes Big Ronaldo, aye. So does Maggie, right enough.
Just keep giving away prizes in this place, don't we?
Oh, well, that's how we do it. Generous company here at PLZ. Great prize as well.
Anybody out there want this man?
Available? No, I'm joking. Come on. We've got to talk about the Europa League for Leicester City. 2-0 up against Napoli, look to be cruising, and so often with Rodgers Leicester, they just seem to concede at the last minute, 2-2.
Yeah, it just shows like I keep saying about the quality in that Europa League. It's Napoli are a good side, good Italian side with top international players. So I know because they went 2 goals up, I think in the end, I think Leicester will be delighted that they got the point. It's a good side, good games for Leicester against these top teams in Italy, and you'd expect Leicester as well to do well in this competition.
Mm-hmm. That's what Brendan Rodgers said. He agreed. He was happy with the point despite throwing away the 2-goal advantage.
I was really pleased with the team and in terms of the mentality and the goals we scored and the resilience for a lot of the game that we showed. I think you see the youthfulness of the team at this level against a really top class side, but that was a real good measure for us.
Also 2-2 for Spurs against Rennes. They were playing in the Conference League. Now that's the league below. I was just wondering as well, do you think that if one of the old firm teams drop down, now if you finish 3rd in the group stage, you drop into the Conference League, and incidentally, if you win your group...
This season?
This season.
Oh, is it?
So
it's harder to get out, put it.
Yeah,
once you're in, you're in.
Once you're in, you're in.
And what's that league called?
Conference Cup or something.
Conference League.
Well, the conference. If you drop out of the conference, you go into the Lowland League.
Pyramid system all the way down.
Rangers and Celtic already got a team in the Lowland League. You don't need any more.
But if you win your group, so if Rangers and Celtic win the group, they go straight to the last 16, so they get a bye.
Yeah.
Whereas if you come second, you go to the last 32, play the knockout of the Champions League, and if you come third, you play in the Conference League. Do you think that the Conference League is one? Obviously, they'll be trying to get through in Europa League, but do you think that they would have a chance of winning the Conference League?
I don't know. There's some decent teams in there. I think Galatasaray are in there as well. So I think Roma. So I don't think it's a complete little.
Like you were watching about Liverpool the other night as well in the Champions League. They played AC Milan. They were in pot 4. So it just shows how good the groups are in the Champions League. So it's like you say, it's filtering now all the way down to the Conference League Cup or whatever it's called, and it's just strong teams everywhere, and it's better than with the opposition like that than there is with some of the other games that you've seen over the years,
Yeah, really high quality of European competition this year. We'll have a quick look at the Premier League fixtures. Here they are. It all starts this evening with Newcastle United against Leeds. Some crackers across the weekend. Arsenal at Burnley looking for the 2nd win in a row. Manchester City at Southampton. Pep Guardiola urging his fans to turn up and support their team. Liverpool against Crystal Palace on Saturday evening. West Ham against Man United on Sunday. Then the big one in England is Spurs against Chelsea, already being billed as Romelu Lukaku versus Harry Kane. Quickly before we go, all three of you, if you could only have one, is it Lukaku or Kane?
Oh,
right now.
Right
Lukaku.
now. If
Lukaku.
Who are you having up front in the Dundee Derby?
Harry Kane.
Kane?
Yes.
Why?
He scored goals.
So does Lukaku.
Yeah, but his record in English football is ridiculous.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I'd probably go Harry Kane.
You got Kane as well?
Lukaku?
I'd have Lukaku, yeah. I just think I think he offers more because he's rapid as well. Whereas I don't think Kane gives you the pace in behind. Whereas Lukaku can do everything, I feel.
And what does that get you?
Well, it gives you another way to play. You can play on the counter.
No, but just get the ball to Kane and still score goals. It's the same thing. Both of them score goals. So it doesn't matter if Lukaku can run in behind or no. Harry Kane's clever enough to get in between two centre backs.
You think so?
I think Harry Kane's top striker.
Right, you backing Spurs to win then?
No,
It's good for Chelsea. I'm going to Lukaku to score both.
Oh, brilliant. Right, we'll be back on Monday looking back at all of the Scottish games, a little bit of the English games as well. Don't forget to tune in to Charlie Adam, Dundee Derby. Can they win? It's the big one we'll be looking at. And a quick, before we go, we got an email from James. He wanted a shout out for the Bucky Thistle team. They're down playing against the Cumbernauld Colts in the Scottish Cup. So good luck to James, all the fans, and Bucky Thistle as well from PLZ Soccer. Scott Adams, man of the match for me. Good luck to you boys in the Scottish Cup. From Tam, from myself, from Ruffy, from Charlie, thank you to everyone at home for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the bell as well. It means you'll get notified when we're going live. And you can also follow us, subscribe on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. But once again, thank you for joining us. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you again next week.